Welcome to Omnibus Fridays, episode 7. In this episode, I will be going over the Superman Exile Omnibus. Now, I have a little marker here, a little comic book shoved inside, not shoved, but shoved inside a omnibus, so I know where to leave off, not where to leave off on. But there's a cover I want to show. One of my favorite covers of Superman. So this is the Exile and Other Stories Omnibus. Now, before I get into this overview, I do want to mention that you should read, before this, you should read these 4. These are the Man of Steel hardcovers by John Byrne. No, none of these are an omnibus, nor are they the size of an omnibus. But they are worth their price tag of $50 each. So you should definitely read that first. $200 for all 4 of them is a good, no, not a good price for pay full price, but even then, if you want to pay full price. But anyways, it's worth it. You know, these are good stories and everything like that. And I remember liking the orphan issues I read because I had gotten I read some of those issues, just in back issues, just random comics, random issues my comic store had. But yes, you do need to read that. And there is, crap, what was it called? I thought I'd remember, but it is. You have to. So it's between the Man of Steel, John Byrne 4 hardcovers and the omnibus. I forget what it was called though. So let's go to my order history. Let's see. Okay, good. It's like, uh-oh. Then filter. It was a digital order, and it was in 2022. 2022. Apply. Let's go. Wee. I ordered a lot of digital comics towards the end. The Power Within. So Superman. So you have to get the 4 hardcovers, and then now to get this digitally. Superman: The Power Within. It's a little. It collects all those brief Superman stories from Action Comics, because after Action Comics, whatever the hell it was, I believe it was 600. After 600. It was not solely it was not solely focused on Superman, like how he normally is. No, it was other characters. And then Superman had like a 2-story, if that, sometimes it was nothing. It had a 2-page story and 2-story. It had a 2-page story in each issue. Roughly 2 pages. Some were maybe more, but I've heard it too. So you have to get that. Those are the prequels to the Exiles Omnibus. Now, I'm going to open up the book. You always take your omnibuses or any hardcover that has a dust jacket. Always take the dust jacket off, if you can, when reading the book. Obviously, if your library, if you get from your local library and they have it taped, keep it taped. It's be fine there. It's a library book, honestly. But if you want to keep your hardcovers looking nice with dust jackets on them, take it off when you're reading them. I have made that mistake with a Fantastic Four book, and even though I have not read the whole entire thing, it looks like I've read it 1,000 times, because it's like wearing off the dust jacket, because I was an idiot back then. I didn't know how to. I didn't have a comic YouTuber to tell me how to do that yet. So here is my favorite, one of my favorite Superman issues or covers. You can tell why it's a homage to Superman issue 1. But it's just, I like this issue. I like this issue's cover. So this one collects, so what does it collect? Well, the omnibus collects, and we just took the comic book I shoved inside the omnibus, again, shoved inside the omnibus as a bookmark, and to read the back of that to know what's collected in a completely unrelated comic. So this one collects Adventures of Superman 445 to 460, Superman 2337, Action Comics 643 to 646, and the second annual. Now this is, yes, as you can tell, this is post, or as most of you can tell, this is post-crisis Superman. And none of it's written by, so who's it written by? Let's go over that. Show it there. So in the actual omnibus, you do get a table of contents. So here is the credits. And then you get table of contents, which I think is really cool. Oh, that's just all credits. Then you get table of contents. Now this one is out of print. went on to print pretty quickly, so I'm glad I got it when I did, because I got this last year. Like, it was last March, I believe, or April. It's fairly recently, because, it was really recently. It was over a year ago. I know that for show. I remember I gotten it not too long after the final volume of Superman came out, of the John Byrne hardcovers. Because this does come out right after. I remember for a while there I wasn't too keen, so to speak, on getting it right away, just because of that Power Within trade. What am I doing here? What was I trying to look for? I was just trying to just do artwork. Do it towards the. Oh, that's a good one to do it for. Alright, I'll do it here. Here is the interior artwork. You got good 80s comics art goodness in there. Oh, that sounds so awkward. It never does when I hear it. It sounds a lot less awkward in my head. So, Superman, the Exiles, and other stories. Omnibus, pretty thick trade. Pretty thick omnibus. And I think it was 125. What's the dust jacket right there? I believe it's 125, right? Or is it 100? 125. And I believe it is 800 pages. It's not quite the... I would say, if I priced omnibuses myself, I would say 900 pages and below, it should be $100. 1,000 pages and 1,000 pages to 1,000 and to 1,200, it should be 125, and 1,300 and above should be, or I almost go say 1,400 and above. It should be, then fine, make it 150, because that's a lot of pages and it's a lot of work to do. I get that, especially for an older book. And I understand there's some exceptions, like for the Silver Age. The Golden Age comics that in the Silver Age, those are hard to find. You know, it's a lot of restoration needs to go into that, and that's just very, very hard to do. And I get that for DC Comics, even for DC Comics, that's difficult to do, even for a reprint. So that, as I say, is that. It's a quick little overview of that omnibus. And if you know what, I should have towards the beginning. I was gonna get a thumbnail. I probably should just take pictures. You know, I just do that. But that, as I say, is that. So I do recommend getting it. I have not read it yet, but if you like post-crisis Superman, if you like the writers, it's Jerry Ordway, Roger Stern. I'm sure there's two others I can't think of off the top of my head. Was it Marv Wolfman? Let's see. Oh, I realized I just did. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't even show who the actual writer was. I thought the first page would have it, but it doesn't. Alright, so I'll just say who writes it. Roger Stern, Jerry Ordway. Let's go over writers. That's it. George Perez, his penciler. It's hard to say. It's hard to... Dan Jurgens. Keith Giffen. His pencilers too. One of the pencilers, Terry Chapman. Fucking God, what is his name? Dan Jurgens. I got confused with Jerry Duggan. Like what? A lot of them are pencilers, like Jerry Ordway. The first one he's the penciler for. First issue collected in here. Yeah, it's roughly. I'm sorry. I thought I did say it. I should look before I actually showed it off. Whoopsies. I apologize for that. But that, as I say, is that. And those of you who stuck around to the end now know who actually writes the books. So, pencil.